All right, Anthony Richardson.
You guys crack me up.
What'd I do?
You guys are like, well, they should have told us he's not playing.
They should have told us.
No, they shouldn't have. They're under no obligation to tell you anything. Why you gotta tell you?
You want 60,000 disappointed people?
You're under no obligation to buy a ticket. Don't buy a ticket. You go to a football game, what do we got to announce? Well, he's going to play, he's going to play, he's going to play. No obligation.
If you sell tickets, look, here, we'll go back to Seinfeld.
Oh.
The manicure people with Elaine, who went to see Rochelle with Bette Midler, but it was no Bette Midler. It was the stand-in. It was the understudy. Were those people happy? No. No Bette Midler? No Bette Midler? No Anthony Richardson? Parents who bring their kids spend $200 of their hard-earned money so their kid can see Anthony Richardson. If they're told on Thursday, maybe they don't do it, and it takes a little coin out of Jim Irsay's pocket, but it increases trust.
Oh,
be honest.
No, not even.
What is wrong with honesty?
That's not dishonest.
It is dishonest.
I mean, that's a great soliloquy you just gave me, and I respect it. But it's not dishonest. We got a football game at 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock. We're playing the Bears. Here's the tickets. Your choice to buy.
Here's dishonest.
Tell me.
No Shane Steichen Thursday after practice because Shane Steichen, if he was asked, would have had to say we're not starting Anthony Richardson. So
it's a conspiracy theory. Well, you're throwing a conspiracy theory out.
A little bit. I think I'm right to.
Oh. Yeah, I don't think they have any obligation. Maybe they were going to play. Maybe they saw all of a sudden, wait a second, I don't like this left tackle against this guy. I don't think, again, I'm looking at this as a coach. I don't want to, if I don't want to play Anthony Richardson, I'm not playing him. I'm not telling anybody. And Jimmy Irsay is running a business. And that business is predicated on people showing up. And the trust factor involved in Jimmy Irsay is if they win. We can talk about trust. We can talk about anything you want. But the bottom line comes down to, in this business, in the business of the NFL, winning is all that matters to develop trust or not trust. And if they did not say that Anthony Richardson isn't playing and 110,000 people are mad, they don't trust him no more. If the Colts win enough, there'll be 10,000 people to replace it. And Jimmy Irsay got himself I guess it wasn't sold out, but a big crowd for a meaningless exhibition game. It's a business.
So making money through duplicity is
That's
good.
Not duplicity.
We applaud.
You described it as duplicity.
Yes,
you described
it is.
It is not. There's a game. Here's the game. It's the Bears against the Colts. Boom. Nobody ever said, come out and see Anthony Richardson. He's starting, and then lied about it. They said, here's a game.
They didn't say he wasn't going to play.
There you go. It's an exhibition game. It's a second exhibition game. History tells you the quarterback ain't playing. That's the way it's always been. So if I paid any attention, I know he's not playing.
At some point, that chicken comes home to roost.
How so?
People are going to say, to hell with these. And it's happened with the Pacers. The Pacers did this. The Pacers operated outside the boundaries, in my eyes, of trust.
Why?
And so people just stayed away. Now they were losing at the time, too.
There you go. There you go.
I give you that.
Okay. If they were winning, you think people are staying away?
I don't know.
You know 1,000%.
I love to think that people aren't that stupid.
It's not stupid. It's human nature. We're going to go watch people that win, period. We're going to. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. I learned that a long time ago. We're going to go watch people that win. We're more interested in winning. And in the NFL, I got to tell you, with 17 games, come on, that's all that matters. I've preached this, the doctrine of Dan, for years. I don't want to hear about cap space. I want to hear about draft choices. Because when you walk out of that stadium, Kent, and the Colts are beaten, you're not like, well, we got draft choices. We got cap space.
Oh, 100%.
That's what I'm saying. So I get what you're saying. I do. I swear I do. I get what you're saying. Look, my son's read about Anthony Richardson, and we want to go see him. We got a chance to go this weekend. All right. But the Colts aren't on any obligation. They're not. And you know what? I'll be honest. I wouldn't play him. And I don't want to hear about the reps. The 8 reps, the 10 reps aren't making any difference in the deal. They ain't making any difference. I don't want. I've watched these NFL dudes get hurt. I just went through it on my morning show. I went through all these guys and I cut it off because so many good players are getting. I learned that valuable lesson as a coach. I've said this before. 10 years, seven of the 10, my 2 best players were out. 5 of the 10, my 3. And I learned that the absolute hard way. I don't give a damn if whoever the 3rd string guard gets hurt. I know that sounds, well, you should care about everybody. I don't. You can't lose your best players. No. And if the 8 reps make such a difference, then the dude's we got bigger problems than that.
Okay.
All right.
Winning is important.
The only thing.
Whatever the Colts have done the last 9 years, and this will be the 10th if they lose this opener, they have not been prepared well to open the regular season. So what I would like to do, going back to Seinfeld, is George doing the opposite. Works. If they think they should sit people, play them. If they think they should play people, sit them.
Remember last year, Ballard spewed some kind of doctrine or something that they used. It became all the rage, like they were eating different, they were sitting different, they were practicing at different times.
Practicing at 1 o'clock because they play at 1 o'clock.
And that makes some sense. It does. But,
to idiots.
But it didn't work.
Like,
no, not to. No, if you're going to LSU to play a night game at LSU, you're practicing at night.
Yes.
Okay.
But running a camp that way
that's stupid.
Is stupid.
No, and it showed itself to be stupid.
It's kind of like one of those things where somebody just has an idea in a meeting and nobody can figure out a reason not to agree with it, so they adopt it.
Right. Well, we play at 1. Okay. We can set every day like a game day.
That sounds just about right. And off they go. And they lose the opener again.
I'm with you. I think the Colts do need to go opposite. If they would have played them, I wouldn't have cared. If they didn't play them, I don't care. I've gotten so all right, nobody gives a rat's ass about what happened in the second preseason game by the first quarter of the first real game. And that's how I've gotten. I don't, people talk about position battles. I don't care.
No.
Like, and here's the other thing, and maybe I'm wrong. You like Steichen. I don't know. I've never.
So far, I've got no reason to dislike him.
Yeah. So my point with him is, me too. I got no reason to dislike him. And every coach in the NFL is coach. I'm not saying, ticket guy or owner. I'm saying coach.
Right.
Every coach is doing their damnedest to put their team and their players in the best possible spot right now.
Right.
I mean, every coach is. So they obviously felt, from a coaching standpoint, don't get on Steichen for not playing the guy. He would be the first coach that I ever met that is trying to not to screw players. Like, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, so I look at it and I go, all right. But there are teams that aren't playing anybody.
Right.
Like and Patrick Mahomes apparently played the other day.
And it's cool.
Yeah, everything's cool, but tell him, huh?
Right.
Yeah, it is.
Just be open a bit. Be honest. I value honesty.
I know you do, but Jimmy Irsay is running a business. So if 10,000, 20,000...
Jimmy Irsay, that's tip money. That's not even tip money to Jimmy Irsay.
That happens
not
enough.
Even.
That happens. It used to be
that media deal. They can play in front of an empty house.
You buy
10
that?
times.
Really?
Oh yeah. The media deal's huge.
Here's what I'm doing if I'm Jimmy
can't
Irsay.
help but make money. Jeff Smullian told me, this was 20 years ago, so this just multiplied this by however much, that his cat could own an NFL franchise and net $40 million a year. His cat could. You don't need to be a genius. They're trying to put into place all of these like Harvard MBA principles of business. Why? What is the point?
All I know is this. If I'm Jimmy Irsay, I'm looking at one thing. We used to have a big season ticket list, and now we're begging.
Win.
That's right.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Win. That's the...
And tell the truth.
Win. All right, let's caution you to a broad... When have the Colts ever told the truth?
Never.
What's the truth about Jonathan Taylor? What was the truth about Peyton Manning? JMV broke the story on Peyton Manning because some weasel in the Colts office told him about his deal. And JMV like shit himself because he, had to say something. He got controversial because some Colts guy, or else that would have been lied about. Andrew Luck lied about. I mean, the Colts. Can we say this? I to this day never completed a geometry problem. I couldn't figure it out, but I got the given.
Yeah.
The given I got. Can we just make it a given that the Colts are going to lie to us?
That's about the way I see, and I'll give you an example that I was a party to, and I still feel terrible about it. When the Colts lost to the Jets in 2009 to blow their undefeated season, the next night on the Bill Polian show, Bob Laney and Bill Polian are talking, and callers are hammering Polian. Like they're taking calls and people are just beating the crap out of him. And so he leaves. He leaves the show before the last segment. And so the Colts call, and then Channel 8 calls, and Channel 8 says, hey, would you mind going on camera and talking about this? What happened? I said, absolutely, I'll talk about it. I went on and said, look, this is common procedure. This is normal business. Bob had gone long the previous segment, so there was about 40 seconds left in the show. And so Bob said, Bill, go ahead, take off, don't worry about it. This wasn't Polian being petulant. Total nonsense.
Of course.
Absolute nonsense. But from that point on, anytime I asked for anything from the Polians, they were all in.
Yeah.
So I got that going for me. I still feel terrible. I feel like I lied to you. And I don't like lying. I hate lying. I should never have done it, but I was fighting for my job. What are you going to do?
See,
I got fired a week later.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got fired.
No 9?
No 10. It was January 4th of 10.
It's been that long?
Yeah.
13 years?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So, hey, go ahead. Lie for your boss and see how far that carries you down.
But hey, Polian to get you his jersey. They look, if you're mad about it, I get it. If you want to make a big deal about it, yeah. See, Doyle making a big deal about it. You've said this forever about Doyle. He don't even believe the shit he's writing. He's just putting it out there because he knows that'll get people going. So I really didn't pay attention to that. I was paying attention. A bunch of fans were asking me about it, and I didn't know it. Like, I was at Nickelback. I didn't give a rat's ass about who the Colts played or who didn't play. But then I had enough people on Twitter go, hey, what do you think? So I just don't care. There's nothing, I swear to you, there's nothing about the only thing about the preseason that I care about relative to the Colts is I want to know if Jonathan Taylor is going to play. That is something that I deem you can.
That's important.
Yeah, and you can get an answer to. I don't even know. Are you going to get an answer?
Well, they're going to have to activate him off the PUP list
at some point
to get him going.
Right.
I mean, they're going to, and they'll release that to us. So they kind of have to tell the truth about that. What if you went to see Nickelback and Luke Combs came out on stage and started playing, or just some guy? How about like that Josh guy who won The Voice? It's going to be Nickelback. Instead of Nickelback tonight, enjoy the song stylings of this guy.
You know I love you, but that's an idiotic. That's just idiotic. I mean, I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Anytime somebody says, you know I love you, the hammer's coming next, right?
That would be, all right, if I went to go see Nickelback and Chad Kroeger wasn't singing.
Yeah.
And they put in their backup guy to do the whole show.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, hang on a second.
I want my Nickelback.
I know. Yeah. I mean, so I'll give you that one. That one scratches the surface of some type of sanity. But, I don't know that I actually am all in on that particular. I'm trying to make sure I'm promoting this more because we got to get into some IU basketball. I'm ripping ass on IU basketball today.
I'm not happy about IU basketball.
Why?
I'm doing the morning show on The Voice because of Woodson.
What?
Getting $1 million. I'm not happy with the raise. I just think it's crazy.
Is that insane? What has he done to get $1 million?
I had a guy in the comments section of my YouTube channel today say, well, he absolutely deserves it because he's a much better coach than Archie Miller. I said, well, if that's where you're setting the bar, really, okay. If you're setting the bar there, then I can't, I try to be respectful. Like you, I may have started my retort my reply with, I love you, but.
I think IU basketball has actually taken a step back.
Do you really?
I do. I got thinking about it. Inside Super 70 Sports is one of my favorite websites.
Yeah, right.
And it showed Michael Jordan in North Carolina, Sam Perkins, and James Worthy. And I'm like, man, at Indiana, we beat those guys. I didn't beat those guys. Those guys, Woodson, we respected to beat those guys. Then I started thinking, Shaq, his last game, Matt Nover and Allen Henderson went nose to nose. Now, Shaq had 36 and made 12 out of 12 free throws. Shaq got his numbers, but Matt Nover and Allen Henderson, they came nose to nose with the dude all game long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I saw a picture of Allen Henderson going nose to nose with some All-American named Morton from Louisville when Calvert was getting like 36 on him, right? And there's all this argument about the bullshit of, well, where do we pay NIL for Indiana? And I'm thinking, you know what? Calvert Cheney rode a damn bike to class every day, competed like hell. Indiana was expected. Even when Dane Fife, when you talk to Dane Fife and Coverdale and those guys, they expected to beat Duke. We were supposed to beat Duke.
Right.
Now it's like such bullshit. Now it's like, well, we brought the Indiana family together. Bullshit. The only people, let me ask you a question. Is there an Indiana basketball player that is relevant other than Isaiah Thomas nationally? Like some guy said to me, the IU basketball players that matter hate you, Dockich, and I'm like, who matters?
Right.
I mean,
right.
Kent Benson? I don't know. I mean, Scott May matters.
AJ Guyton.
Yeah, Guyton's pissed. I think it's taking a step back. I think when you give, guy came in ninth, guy came in third, fine. What Indiana family did he bring? What is all this shit? How about just fucking winning?
Yeah.
How about just that shit? How about he develop it? And now he's only in his second year. Maybe it'll come. But how about getting a program that expects to beat fucking North Carolina or Kentucky? That's all I've said.
Or Miami.
Or don't quit. Well, this is where I was actually headed. I got sidetracked. And then you quit midway through the game against Miami.
Yeah.
And I wasn't the only one saying it. Jagoffs like Doyle and the rest, well, you were saying, everybody was like, they quit.
Yeah.
And they had a first-team All-American against fucking Miami.
Yeah.
I know Isaiah Wong this. We're quitting because Isaiah Wong is too tough for us.
Yeah. Right.
Or some little dude here from Lawrence that made $500,000. What was his name? Remember the kid? He transferred from Peck. Isaiah Peck or some little fucker from here. Oh, we got to quit in the middle of it because Jim Larinaga? Jesus, I followed Jim Larinaga at Bowling Green. Oh, that's the greatest. I don't even know what to make of how that dude's been that successful. I'm just telling you.
How many guys are there like that in coaching where you're like, wow, how'd that happen?
I don't know. Larinaga's one, I'll tell you that much. I don't know. There's a bunch. You watch practice and you're like, I don't know how that dude ever wins a game. Like Matt Painter, I think, and I had a discussion. He goes, oh, Calvin Sampson's a great coach. I go, he might be. I go, he certainly knows how to get to players, and that makes you a great coach. But in terms of practice and development, I mean, Bob Knight was, holy shit. It wasn't even, I remember sitting there at Indiana going, how the hell did we win? Like, this is the most ridiculous shit ever that we're doing here. But hey, we are.
Under Sampson.
Yeah, under Sampson,
Yeah.
as compared to Knight. Because Knight was, you and I have had this discussion. He's the best coach, I think, in the history of actual coach. But anyway, I don't know, man. But does the million, it's $1 million a year.
Yeah. So $4 million.
Why do you think they did that? Why Dolson do that?
I don't know. I don't know whether Woodson came to him and said, hey,
I need
how
to
about
be
a little something?
Yeah.
Or whether Scott just had extra money laying around. Maybe they're so awash in cash, it doesn't even matter what they pay people anymore. I have no idea.
Maybe.
They've been to the round of 32 one time. That's all. They were 12-8 in the Big Ten last year. I don't know. Where's the glory? I don't understand.
With an All-American.
Yeah.
That he was gifted.
Yeah, right.
12-8. Is that what they were?
Yeah.
What were they the year before? They were out of the tournament at
9 and 11.
They were out of the tournament the year before at halftime against Michigan. I'll give them credit. They made a run.
Yeah.
See, my problem, and this, I go back to Carly Lloyd. I don't give a fuck what any people want to get pissed at me about. I spent 17 years busting my ass there, so if anybody has a problem with me saying anything, you can kiss my ass.
Here's my problem with the Michigan game.
Give it to me.
If you can be that tough in the second half of that game, why can't you be that tough more consistently?
That's the problem.
I don't get it.
Why does that same group...
Like, be so
why does that same
gritty
group
that
quit
people
against
can't...
Miami?
Right.
See,
right.
quitting in the middle of an NCAA game. Now, I want you to think about that. You just said something I didn't realize. 12-8 in the Big Ten. Lost early in the Big Ten tournament, if I remember right, the year before.
Yep.
You quit in the middle of a Big Ten game, or of an NCAA tournament game. And again, this isn't just me. Like, everybody saw them quit. Like, you know, I copied actually headlines from like the Star in different places, because when people say, well, Dockett, you're just being negative and bitter and all the other crap people throw at me, I was going to say no. Like, I think I kept one of your videos that you did where you mentioned quitting. I'm like, people saw this shit, and this is what I'm saying. It's time for Indiana basketball and the Colts to live up to the bullshit media hype they get around here.
Yeah.
Like the Colts media hype, like this guy Richardson is the greatest quarterback ever. Do you think, is there any part of Scott Dolson that felt like he didn't want to hear about it racially for not paying Woodson? I think that influences everything.
Maybe, but he was already getting like what,
But now he's in
$3.4
the top 2 or 3.
Well, be a top 2 or 3 coach.
That's what I'm saying.
We talked about this last time. I'd say if Woodson came in and said, you know, I may go back to the NBA, I'd say, hey, good luck.
Adios.
Have fun.
Hey,
I'm gonna upgrade. This is my opportunity to upgrade in that position. I don't know who that'd be, but it's always an opportunity. Somebody quits, you say thanks, shake their hand, and then go hire somebody better.
I said that about Calipari at Kentucky. They gave him a lifetime deal.
Yeah.
How good have they been since they gave? They're almost in Indiana irrelevant. They have been crap.
Yeah.
And okay, I need $9 million. Whoa, you to do what? Coach Kentucky? No.
Yeah.
No, we'll go get Steve Kerr to do it for $6. Or I don't know.
Right.
People line up to coach at Kentucky. Like, I'm so with you. Hey, I'm going to go back to the NBA. Were you going as an assistant? Okay.
People, I always thought that when the money got sick, that people were going to be less motivated by money, that they would have pockets so filled that they'd be like, well, I can live without it. No, they're doing the opposite. Like people like Ballard, the administrator guys, like Ballard, like Dolson, I'm going to throw him in there. I don't know Scott Dolson at all. Whoever, Swarbrick up at Notre Dame, they are in the survival business, no matter how much money they make. And I don't understand that philosophy. Maybe I'm not greedy enough, but I just don't get it.
I think you're absolutely right. I've said this forever about Ballard: winners, losers, survivors. And he's the greatest survivor in modern sports.
Really good.
You can't have that record. I mean, they're talking about this, and I wanted to ask you this too. Justin Fields, this is the first year, you and I grew up Bears fans. This is the first year Justin Fields has like what feels like a legitimate team. Like guys around him, he's
got a receiver.
Right.
Yeah, DJ Moore is real.
Yeah, and so, Claypool should be real.
Right.
So he's got, like, everybody's saying this is a do or die year. Our guy Ballard has been here for 7 years constructing this crap.
Yeah.
I don't hear one person saying this is a do or die year for Ballard.
Because he's got the hope, the promise of a second year under Richardson. And that's what you can hang your hat on.
I agree.
Same thing with Tom Allen down at IU. Without the divisions, all of a sudden it's a little bit different. Football, they're not going to have to play Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State
When
every
does
year.
that come in?
Next year.
Yeah.
So there's that like facade of hope. And as long as you have the facade of hope, you get to keep your job.
All right, right now, this time next year, if Tom Allen doesn't, let's say he wins 4 games, he the coach?
Yes.
All right, this time next year.
Now, should he be as a completely different?
I'm asking you, is he? Yeah, based on what you just said.
Because then, like ADs have so many hires they've got until they're former ADs.
No question.
And firing Tom is not going to be done lightly after giving him that extension that was complete insanity.
The COVID extension. And And Scott Dolson worked a lifetime to get in this position.
Yeah, yeah.
He worked a lifetime. Scotty was a manager. I love Scott. I think he's a great dude. I do. I love his kids, his wife, ex-wife. I love. They're great. But so he's not giving up this position easily. All right, let me go the other way. If Ballard goes, let's say 6 wins, is he the general?
Yep.
No way.
They're not going to fire him.
Get out of here.
Because he can hang his hat on the development of Anthony Richardson.
He can hang his hat.
And Irsay will buy it.
No way. Here's what I would say if I was Irsay. I was thinking about this. I'd be like, wait a second. You've not proven you can build a team around anybody. Thank you for drafting Richardson. We certainly gave you a long leash. And get somebody in here that can build. He's not proven he can build shit around anybody.
No, that's true.
So why would Jimmy Irsay be beholden to him to build around the centerpiece that we all, let's just say we all love Richardson.
Yeah.
All right, let's just say we all love him. Oh, man, without Richardson, we'd have won 2 games. He was so good, we won 6.
Right.
There's no way.
All you need to do now, you need to go get a wide receiver.
Oh.
And you need to go get a pass rush guy and one cornerback.
But, okay, you just made my point.
Right.
How many pass rush guys has he drafted? Has he signed Ngakoue? Kwity Paye? How many pass rush guys do you get? How much money can you spend on the 3 technique?
Yeah.
Fuck me, Red Ryder.
Yeah.
Honest to God.
I'm just telling you.
No, that's what you made my point.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust him to do that.
Right.
You wouldn't either. You wouldn't either.
No, but I know this. Like, if they fire Ballard, who are they going to go get? Like, and I know that's managing out of a place of fear and weakness, but who's going to come here?
That's not.
After all of this garbage.
That's not your book. I read your book about succeeding after failure. That's failing before you even have a chance to succeed. It is, right?
But
there.
That's what they do.
I'm not saying they don't. I get fired up sometimes.
You sell tickets. Oh, goodness. Yeah, well, let's see.
You guys got it up close and personal. Do I have any acne? Have I been eating candy bars?
This is wacky. Yeah, one of these is shorter than the others.
There you
go. Oh, well. No, that's terrible. There we are. That's a little bit better. All right.
So, all right. Does Ballard even have a contract, or is it just say?
Yeah, they signed him to an extension.
He got extended.
And extensions. Agents must earn their money, man. I don't get it.
All right, last thing on that. To me, good for Woodson, good for his family. Yay, Rod, go fight, win. Hope everything goes well. I do, but let me ask you this: what are you actually paying for? If you give a guy, you made this point. So I want your definition. What is Indiana paying Mike Woodson another $1 million for?
I got no idea.
Don't you pay for either past or future performance? Which one would you say
it should be for present value? Yeah. What has he done for us, and does he project toward continuing that level of excellence? We haven't reached excellence, and so I have no idea why you're presupposing you're going to get there. And that's why I don't understand the $1 million. That doesn't make any sense.
You brought this up to me, and I don't know what it means. Maybe you can. You brought up to me a while back that Indiana kids don't go to Indiana. Did you bring that up to me or somebody else?
They don't go to class.
Oh, they don't?
Well, no, it's all online.
Oh, no.
I talked to
I'm saying recruiting. Indiana high school players.
Yeah. They go to Purdue. Like Trey Kaufman-Renn. There's no way he should have gone to Purdue. He's a Southern Indiana kid. There's no way. But that's Archie. So you hang that on Archie Miller, and that's the way that went. How many guys in Indiana, the kid from Flory Badunga from Kokomo, he's going to Kansas. How the hell can that possibly happen? Go get some Indiana guys. I think
Does that matter?
I don't know. The thing about Indiana guys, and I don't know whether this is relevant anymore, and you would know better than me, but when you recruit Indiana guys, there's a level of understanding of basketball that's higher.
100%.
And so you kind of get freshmen who are ready to compete, understand toughness, because they had to be tough in order to beat the Atlanta Celtics and other programs. So I do think it's important.
I do too. You know what? The more I think about, we so love what is not near to us. Like,
Yeah.
this guy is such. I read something on some kid that Indiana got, that Duke had gotten. He left Duke, Magumbo or something. I don't know. He's the greatest two-way forward, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe he is. Maybe he is. I don't know. But they never seem to be.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
Schifino, pretty good, really good. And his deal against Purdue, great. But they never seem to be. And then you see some Indiana kid. Like, I use Randy Whitman's kid as an example. Ryan didn't play in Indiana, but he was an Indiana kind of kid. And all of a sudden, he goes out and he's leading Cornell at a Sweet 16. And every guy that's supposed to be the greatest recruit ever comes to Indiana, and Indiana goes 12-8 or 9-11 or makes a good run at the end of the year. And now we got so-and-so coming in. I'll ask you, because I have a different perspective. Shouldn't Indiana fans be exhausted about, I don't know, 28 years of hype or whatever it is?
You would think.
Jesus.
You would think, but not so much. I still love it. I like watching it, but I think it's more just nostalgia.
Yeah.
You know, it looks like Indiana. You got Woodson.
Yeah.
I'm all right with it.
The students are great. They have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The game shows up
they
great on TV.
They don't hold anybody accountable. Like, to me, if you lose at Indiana, you shouldn't be rewarded with people going to Indiana games. Like, it should be apparent that this isn't, although it is. Now it's better. Like 12-8, okay, that's a step in the right direction. I'm okay. But when Crean,
Are you?
Crean
got him to be number one in the country.
With Indiana guys.
Yes.
And then he went haywire and he recruited the wrong Indiana guys. And I told him, I was like, hey, I don't know what you're doing. Jeremy Hollowell, we had dinner with Angelo Pizzo.
Yeah.
And Angelo is like, Honor Mascara Parade is going to be a one and done, and Jeremy Hollowell is this. I was like, no. He got the wrong guys, just as Painter got the wrong guys.
With the Johnsons.
And Gary Harris goes to freaking Michigan State. How the hell is that even possible?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. And here's the reason, so I'm going to get back to this. Here's the reason this jumped up on me today, Indiana, just because I'm seeing all this hassle. Like, apparently there's a big debate on where to pay Indiana players. Do you pay them through the NIL collective? Do you pay them through the Hoosier Hysteria? It gave me a headache.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
What the hell do I care?
How about, did they take money from them when they quit? If it were a real business.
Yeah.
Like, it's a business, really? So the guys that quit against Miami, would they have to give money back? Would they get fired? I mean, what?
Right.
You can't.
Nobody gets fired.
Nobody.
I don't understand it. Like, I didn't like what they call creening, right?
Yeah.
Where you kick kids loose to replace. I don't like that.
Either. I couldn't do that.
But at some point now, it's a little bit different. This isn't like a year-to-year scholarship anymore. This is, you get 4 years, we're guaranteeing your 4-year scholarship, and we're handing you a bag.
Yeah.
And so there's got to be something that comes this way that makes a little bit of sense. I totally agree.
All under the guise of this is a business. Okay, this is a business. Well, I don't know. Are we fining people for not showing up? Are we cutting salaries for non-performance?
Yeah, right.
I mean, or is it just, hey, we don't want to catch any heat. We in order to compete, we got to give more. We got to act like we like doing this, because there isn't one slap at Indiana that likes giving all these kids this money. There isn't one fucking, those Hoosier hysteric guys might, but they are who they are.
The pendulum's going to swing back, and it's going to become punitive to student athletes at some point.
What does that mean? That's big words. What does that mean?
That, like, now it's all student athlete friendly.
Yeah.
At some point, people are going to wake up and say, no, there's got to be accountability here, and it's going to swing the other way.
I don't buy it.
People are going to throw a hissy fit.
I don't believe it.
You're going to have problems.
I'm going to be the first AD, president, coach that says, all right, look, I really feel like we got nothing out of this freshman class.
Yeah.
So we've evaluated this, and we're going to deduct to the one freshman other than Schifino last year at Indiana didn't do anything. I don't know. Maybe they did.
Renew?
Renew I like him.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
we're going to send you a bill.
CJ Gunn.
Yeah.
You didn't do squat.
Right.
So we're going to for you to play here in Indiana, we're gonna, I don't know, make you pay us for the privilege, and then when you do well, we'll pay you.
We're going to put you on a performance plan.
Yes.
Where if you don't average this, and this, and show up on time this many times, we're going to send you a bill for your scholarship.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that. If it's a business,
if
it's a business, I mean, in what business, other than the NFL or whatever, where 98% of the revenue, or one of those leagues, I don't know, maybe it's the NBA, like 49% of the revenue goes into players.
Right.
And what other business is that, like, okay, be 12-8, you're shitty. At a historically great school with every single advantage. Indiana has every advantage.
Yeah.
Every advantage. And we're going to give the coach $1 million, and we got to make sure we get enough for these slaps. Like, look, we're going to lower your NIL. Somebody just said it. We're going to lower your NIL. We're going to lower this.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you can't do that. Well, then play better.
Do something.
That's the great.
Do something about it.
Play better. God damn. Oh, and people say, you're bitter. Well, I'm glad this is on screen because we're laughing about it. Nobody's bitter. We're just look, you cannot, and I've said this before, and I think you agree, you can't fight this if you're a coach. You got to embrace it, and you got to move along with it. That's it.
Well, it's reality.
It's reality.
And there's no unplugging it.
No.
The horse is out of the barn or whatever. That's kind of an Indiana thing. The horse is out of the barn and they're running free in the pasture.
Every white guy my age or older will say, "Oh, Danny, you're beating a dead horse again. When the horse is dead, don't beat it." That was an old Bob Knight line that every guy in the red sweater is like, "We're beating a dead horse." So, all right, last thing on the NIL. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, like Slapdick Johnny and all these other greatest freshmen in the history of IU basketball, and the greatest team this year, which is, again, the greatest team ever, they start slow.
Yeah.
What if they come in and go, "All right, here's the deal. And I'm Dulcin. Woody, you're not performing. We're gonna ask for some money back. Can you players, you got to give some NIL. We'll give it back to you if you play well." That'd be awesome.
Wouldn't it be great?
That'd be awesome.
I'd love that. I wish there were conversations like that. Administrators never do that kind of thing.
No.
They never stand up, and this is not about Dolson, it's about everybody.
Yeah.
But middle management is really bad about standing up to staff because they're afraid that the staff's going to go behind their back and it's going to be their ass. And that's just the way it works. Mm-hmm. It works that way in media. It works that way in athletics. It just doesn't matter. There's a fear-based thinking within management that I think is really harmful to manhood or womanhood. Like I can't, if you work for me and you come to me and tear my ass, I'm not going to stand for it. If I get fired because I'm not putting up with it, I get fired. Yeah. I'm not going to bend over for anybody. I don't understand the bending over. I don't get it. Just because you can continue to get a paycheck, I think it's crazy. And again, that's not about Dolson because I don't know him and I don't know the way he manages. Just middle management in general, I find to be that way.
To that point, one of the things I've always admired about you're one of the few people that, over the course of my lifetime, that really likes their wife.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, really, and it's like, you know what? I know what I have. Like, you know what you have, you celebrate what you have. I've always said that. There's only, like, in my world, and I don't hang out with that many people, but there's only about 3 or 4 couples that I'm like, yeah, they really like each other. And I'm in that now. I'm not going to say I was or wasn't before, but I'm absolutely in that now. And the point is, you got to know what you have.
Yeah.
You're Indiana. You got to know what you have in your basketball program. You got to know that I don't need to give a guy another $1 million until he does something. You're Kentucky. You got to know. I know what I have in my wife. You know what you have in your wife. So you celebrate that. You know, and sometimes you know what you have and it's bad.
Right.
And you got to eliminate it. But you got to know what you have in this world. And to just like Kentucky, I like him. I was just texting with him again this week. He's great. But if a guy at Kentucky comes to me that you can say he's underperformed, whatever, I need $9 million. No.
Right.
And I've always said about Indiana basketball, they don't know what they freaking have.
You can't allow a subordinate to become the superior.
No, that's what happened with Knight.
Exactly.
Yes, that's exact. And I remember telling that, you got a boss, you don't think you do. But Clarence Doniger has an ego. I'll never forget this conversation. Clarence Doniger's got an ego. You think you're getting over on him, and Timmy's being a dick to him, and Patrick's being a dick to him. Everybody's being a dick to him. I said, that's great, but he's got an ego.
Just wait.
Yes, and he's smart. Clarence Doniger was no fool. Clarence Doniger was really, really smart.
People keep score.
Yo!
And they may allow you the occasional win, but at some point, the columns are not going to add up correctly. You're going to step on your dick, and he's going to act,
right.
or she.
That's right. And that's exactly what happened with Bob Knight. You know what? Give you a rope. You got me here. Oh, you embarrassed me here. Oh, yeah. And next thing you know, you're in Dun Meadow asking fucking students to pray for you with your wife. I'm just saying.
Oh, that was such a sad way to go. He should have been like indignant.
Yes. He should have been like, hey, motherfucker, pray for me and my wife. What? You got $8 bazillion in the bank? You got fired from a job. Your own fault. How about you pray for the people in there?
You pray for me.
You pray. Hey, look at that slap dick out there. You think that guy who's currently studying general studies is going to make anything in his life? Pray for him, damn it.
And you think he's got a direct line to God anyway?
Yeah.
You out of your mind?
Oh my God. That's just arrogance is all that was.
What do you want to see Thursday night out of the Colts against the Eagles?
You know what I want to see, seriously?
What?
I do want to see Anthony Richardson play some.
God almighty,
I
just a huge middle finger to your whole fan base who just showed up on Saturday. We're just playing him on the road.
I know, but I think this is the last exhibition game. I think if I were the coach of this game, I would have to fight this in my brain, because I would want to make this week, it's short week, but I would want to make it a game situational week for him. Maybe I should have done it last week.
When you're playing against, to Venturi's point during the broadcast, you're playing against the best roster in the NFL.
And that's
it's
my
a good
fight.
thing.
No, that's my fight. I don't know if I want him out there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to get. I don't want anybody hurt. I'm so conscious of.
You're
hurt.
managing through fear.
I am 100%. Billy Donovan did it their second year, a national championship. He's like, Dan, I knew the only way we couldn't win national championship, we got hurt. So I literally monitored how many minutes a week guys played against each other. Like he said, Joakim Noah didn't play more than 21 minutes a week against another guy.
Really?
Yes. I don't think that's fair. I think that's smart. I do. I think in modern football, I just do. And he said Al Horford was like 38 minutes. The green kid, the guard, was like 50 minutes. I don't know. It was just because Joakim Noah always went crazy, balls out, diving, and And when he told me that, and they had monitors on him, they had the trainer.
Well, it worked. So you know,
kind of told me, like, I've seen a lot of teams in Indiana. How many Indiana basketball teams, if Scott May didn't get hurt, if Whitman in 1980, Woodson in 83, Kitchell, you can use Landon.
Yeah.
You can use. I mean, I think Crean's still here. If OGN or Henderson in 93, excuse me. Yeah. So it's a big deal.
You know, you conversely, how many of the teams that won would have won had Knight played it safe and hid guys from competition?
I don't know. Scott May breaks his arm last game of the regular season at Purdue.
Yeah.
And frickin' Allen Henderson, I can still see it and hear it, tore his knee on a dunk at the other end of the court because he got a steal and a breakaway layup. I mean,
let me ask you about this, and I've wanted to, and I don't think I ever have. The team in 13 with Hulls and Oladipo and Sheehy and all these guys, what it looked like to me, and it looked like against Ohio State, they played a really good first half, and it looked like they just got tired. And then it seemed like they were playing in fatigue the rest of the season. Yeah. That happens, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's where Knight was a genius. Knight was a genius. Like, people always say, wow, I bet you guys practice like crazy to beat North Carolina. I go, no, we didn't practice more than 20 minutes a game.
Is that right?
Yeah, Knight was a genius with that. And I will say this, Calvin Sampson and I were in his basement, and we were watching Marquette. Tom was the coach at Marquette, and Calvin said something like that. He goes, Tom's team looked great, but he wears them out.
Is that right?
And I don't know if Tom learned not to do that. I don't know. And I did it to a team, and I still regret it. I did it because I thought we just had to keep getting better at Bowling Green. It was one of my last years. We ended up tying, I think. A kid got hurt. Whatever. We ended up winning 18 games, and we lost our last 2 in the league. And my record in February was ridiculous. My first 5 years, like 22-3 or some shit, because I learned from Coach Knight.
Yeah. To taper.
Oh God, I would always be shocked at how. Now, if you lose, Sunday you're gonna kick your ass in a practice.
Right.
But Monday would be a little bit. Monday would be a practice. Tuesday would be way less. Wednesday, because you usually play Thursday. Wednesday you're walking through, and Thursday you're playing. Friday you're not doing shit if you win, and Saturday, if you win, you're off until Sunday night. So you got a whole, like, let's say it's a Saturday afternoon game, at 2 o'clock, you're done at 4, you're out of there by 5, and you're not coming back until 6, 7 o'clock at night on Sunday. So he gave you a whole 24 hours off. This was before, the mandatory stuff.
Right,
yeah.
right.
No, I agree. No, that's one of the things that coaches in football, you have to do it too, even though you got to know. This guy, yes, he can practice, but I don't want him to, because we would like to get him a day more healthy.
And Crean is one of those grinders.
No, he's a grinder. Oh, yeah.
So he thinks that others grinding is a net positive when that's not always the case. And
if I would go back and coach, Sampson was good with that. Sampson, hey, we're gone. We're done. We'll watch a lot of tape.
Yeah.
But and then, but you had to manage it with Sampson, because those guys were out the door to CVS to find out how to fake drug tests, and they were going to sports. So, you had to be able to fake. You had the nighttime component. Anyway,
all right,
I got a big golf match today.
Yeah, go take people's money, and make sure and like this. It's the polite thing to do. And if you want a chance to win an Anthony Richardson Indiana Knights jersey, the one with the stripes and the trim and whatnot, subscribe to this. Subscribe to my channel as well, Ken Sterling.
We may have to do a Friday show after the game.
Well, I think we should.
Well, I do,
I
too.
like the Friday
You
show.
got to subscribe. Just
192
people subscribe now.
Is that right? 190. That's a lot.
See, Sean Black. See, this is what happens. Now he wants to get Thad Mata on. If Thad Mata wants to come out to my house and sit right here between, hey Sean, if we showed it to you, I got all these chairs. These are my bar chairs, and they're great chairs. We'll put a chair up. Yeah, this is the basement. We'll put a chair up there. We'll bring a chair over. Sure.
Look at that. That's professional panning right there. Thad, you want to have Thad on?
I'll have anybody on, but he's got to win a little bit.
Yeah, no kidding. I think he got tired of it. That roster has churned. Like, he isn't playing games, I don't think.
Hey, man, I know some people that have told me to go. They had some dudes that were basically, they didn't give a shit who Thad Mata was. They were going to do their own shit with
you can see that on the floor.
Yeah.
You can see it in his face.
And that's where, I used to tell players, you got me. You got me right now. But as soon as this season's over, these scholarships are worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
Now that would be like some kind of violation.
Yeah, that's heresy.
Yeah, but you got me. You got me.
Thad Mata is inhuman.
He's unbelievable. Good for you, Thad. We support that. We
do.
If players are going to get paid, then I got to tell you, there's consequences for losing.
And what a great lesson for those children. To learn that when you get out into the world and you don't perform to Hoyle, out you go. That's the way it works.
As the one song says by Tone Loc, hasta la vista, baby. See you guys.
All right.
Hasta la